I hope you all are doing great. So, as you may have seen from the title, we will be talking about racism. So, the whole story started when a black man named George Floyd was killed by a white police officer last Monday in the United States. So, let me say this man was being arrested for passing counterfeit currency, which means, in a simple language, he was passing fake money. So, as I just said, he was being arrested by a white police officer. He was in handcuffs and he was complete and armed, and which means like he wasn't making any threat. As this police officer was kneeling on his neck, making him find difficulties to take his breath, it was at this moment when witnesses started to film Mr. Floyd as he was repeatedly begging for mercy and confirming that he can't breathe. At the end, it caused his death. Yeah, it's very, very tragic what happened. So the video was widely shared on social media and it had a big reactions, especially the fact that the United States have been there before and it wasn't the first time that black people are being killed by police officers. And there's a research that showed that black people are 3 times more likely to be killed than white people. It's crazy, I know. Even though they are all Americans and normally they have the same human rights. So yeah, it caused actually a nationwide protest in the United States. Not only in the United States, actually, I've seen people protesting in London, in Paris, and different cities around the world. So that video got millions all over the world so angry about what happened and the fact that we're at this moment in our lives there's still racism towards black people. So the thing that made me really do this podcast is even though there was this video and people are being protesting and this whole thing got big reaction, there's still type of people ignoring the fact that racism does exist, and they say at least not in their home countries. And I was like, wait a second, racism does exist, and as I know so far, racism doesn't mean only like racism is not really just about black people. So I said, wait, maybe I got the whole thing wrong. So I just googled it out and I found like million definitions and it was all turning around the same point, as I can say. So they say racism is believing that a particular type of people is superior or inferior to another just because of the skin color, the language, the customs, the place of birth, or any other factor that supposedly reveals the basic nature of that person. And I was like, whoa, we have all type of racism. Like we have racism because of the skin color, we have the racism because of the language, and I'm gonna explain. We have the racism because of customs, we have racism because of place of birth, and we have racism because of so many other factors. Like I'm talking like we all have seen racism before. We just do not talk about it as if the world functions this way, and that the reality that racism is not only towards black people, like the world we're living in have racism not only towards black people but even white people are being concerned by this. So just let me say, I've seen people differentiate in between two persons because of the language. So if you talk and you seem like you're from the city or you're born in the city, you're going to be treated as you're born from the city. But if you from your language you look like you're coming from the countryside, it's not going to be a good day for you. So they are going to differentiate based on how you look, how you talk, what's your accent. So if you have a good accent and you seem that you were born in the city, you're just going to be treated good or better than if someone really talk in a language and he looked like he's from the countryside. I'm talking about my country. Like we have some differences in the accent when it comes to someone who lives in the city and someone who's born and lived in the countryside. And costumes, oh my God, costumes. Like, we all know that if you look good, you wear good, and you look that you're, that you're looking good, you're going to be treated and you're going to be more valued if than someone who really wear, you know, less prices pieces than you, let me say. So costumes is a big problem. Like, when they see you, they're gonna look how you look. Like, if you look wearing good, having good costumes, you're gonna be treated good and you're gonna be more valued because people are gonna say, oh, he look rich, so I should give him more attention than if someone really look less good than him. Place of birth also, and I've seen people differentiate between genders. Like, if you're a male, if you're a female, you're gonna have more attention than if you're a male. So basically, there is racism in our lives. We live it every day. We see it every day. And let me say that also, if you're a girl and you're prettier than the other, you're gonna have more attention than the less pretty girl. So yeah, I'm not talking. I'm talking when people differentiate between two persons where the physical appearances has no matter. Like, you're looking for a job, you're looking for intellectual level, you're not looking for physical appearances. So basically, racism is believing that a particular type of people is superior than the other, or inferior than the other, to the inferior to the other, to another. Sorry, just because of things they do not have control on. Because let me say, physical appearances, skin color, all these things we do not have control on. So why do we get judged because of some things we do not have control on? This is what racism is about not judging people, not judging people because of what they look like, because of what their skin color, because of their costumes, because of their language, because this is complete unfair. And let's talk about something that's really, really making me angry. And like, there are people, and let me say, countries like Libya, Syria, Palestine. These people, they are just like us. They have the same human rights. They are exact same thing as us. They are being treated like they are nothing, beaten up, raped every single day. Their rights, they do not have rights to live, and no one talks about it. Just as if these people are born to be in war, that they are born to be in a nature where their rights are being raped. And no one talks about it. Just if they are okay, you are Palestinian, you're born to live like this. And this really sad. And this world is full of racism, let me say, not only towards black people, but there are type of white people are being involved in the whole thing. And there's still people ignoring the fact that racism does exist, and which makes really things even complicated. So I'm gonna say that the problem is too much deeper than this. We need to learn how to treat all people they are equals, and only differentiate between them when it really needs to differentiate based on their intellectual level, and not on what they look like, because they do not have control on what they look like. And Palestinian people, let me say, children, they were born and they do not have anything to deal with in this world, and they are being treated, they are being kneeling on every single day, and they have nothing to do about it, and they're not guilty about it, and they have rights just like us, and their rights are being raped every single day, and they are being ignored by the world, and no one talks about it, just as if it is as normal as it can be. So we can't deny that racism does exist, and black people are being differentiated, and there are types of people are being differentiated also, just because of things they do not have control on, and they're not guilty to have this skin color, or to be from this country, or to born in a war. And we really need to do something about it. And we need to start with ourselves. We need to learn how to treat people and stop judging people on their physical appearances. We need to stop being racist, because at some point we all have been racist in our life, and just by judging someone on the way he look. And yeah, it's a big problem that we're living in nowadays. This is the end of this podcast. At the end, I want to say that we are all responsible to raise awareness and stop what is happening in the world, and talk about things when no one is talking about. And yeah, talks to you very soon, inshallah.